My name is Laurens Wapenaar. I'm product manager at FinDock, and with me is Klaas Koistra, also product manager. And today we'd like to show you what we have for you in the March 24 release of FinDock. The features we'll be discussing are already available in your sandbox environment and will automatically be pushed to your production environment on March 24th in the evening. And if you'd like to track the release in more detail or get notifications about any maintenance we're doing, please subscribe on status.findock.com. And then on to the body of our webinar. Today, we'll be giving you an update on our pilot features, and there's quite a bit of them. We'll be discussing in a little bit more detail the non-profit cloud and our bugs and enhancements, but most of this webinar we'd like to spend on our new FinDock for Sweden features, which now cover the whole breadth of FinDock features, and Klaas will be taking you through those and showing you what that looks like in reality. First, a brief update about our knowledge base and our academy. We've got several new articles, partially for the features we're releasing this release. But there's also a completely new course on recurring payments with FinDock on our academy. You can sign up for free on academy.findock.com with your email address and enroll in this new course and any previous courses. I highly recommend if you'd like to learn more about FinDock, or check whether you still know everything, to enroll in these courses and have a look. First, our update on our pilots. So with the March release, we're declaring our integration user license pilot generally available. We've implemented all the feedback that we got from customers and partners. And the next release will be moving up other permission sets for different personas that we're creating to make permissions with FinDock a lot easier, a lot more granular, and a lot more flexible. And we will do the same with our MPC features. And hopefully, based on the feedback that we're getting, we can move those to GA in the July release, but that of course depends on what we find, what you find, and whether everybody likes what we've built, yes or no. One of the things we have started with this release and are building upon is a new pilot where we allow you to do MOTO payments from Salesforce with Worldpay. This was already possible with Stripe, of course, but we're adding a new processor here. For this means that you can take one-time credit card payments and set up and change the credit card for recurring payments. And of course, since this is all native Salesforce, you can integrate this component into your own processes to Flow, Lightning Web Components, any other Salesforce automation tool you use. Of course, we're fully PCI compliant. And if you'd like to learn more about our Moto feature in general, I highly recommend you check out either our .com website, the specific virtual terminal / Moto articles, or if you want to set it up and try it out, check out the documentation where we describe how to configure FinDock Moto. We're actively looking for pilot customers for this feature. So if you use Worldpay or think about using Worldpay and you would like to do Moto payments from Salesforce, please send us a message at laurens@findock.com, that's me directly, or through our support, and mention that you would like to join the pilot. Then on to nonprofit cloud. So this summer we embarked on a journey together with Salesforce to make sure that all FinDock features are also deeply integrated with the new fundraising modules for nonprofit cloud that Salesforce has built. I'm happy to say that we're now fully at feature parity with FinDock for MPSP. That means that all FinDock features are enabled and support the new nonprofit cloud. This release, we've added support for the payment request generator. So that also includes the capability to do outreach source code through the report function, the quick ticket component, the manual entry component for Go Cardless, and the box bank account checker. We've also implemented several user experience improvements to the setup, for instance, based on your feedback, and fixed several bugs. We know there's a lot of projects that have started implementing nonprofit cloud together with FinDock. So if you have any feedback for us or see that something isn't working, please don't hesitate to contact us, because we would like to move this to beta in a state that everybody fully enjoys and can fully use our new FinDock for fundraising features. And that's it for the talking. At least from my end, it's over to Klaas to show what Sweden is all about.
Thank you, Lawrence. I had to find the unmute button. So, thanks. Yes, I'm happy to talk to you again about what we have shipped for our endeavor in the Swedish market, where 2 releases ago we introduced our first components that solve the payment needs for Swedish customers with FinDock on Salesforce, where we've added matching for bank statements and Giro payment. Last release, I showed you and told you about our auto Giro payment capabilities, and we're very pleased to announce that with the March release, we've added our final 2 flagship features that make FinDock in Sweden a complete solution that you can use for all your payment needs. And with a native integration with Bank Giro, both for auto Giro and Bank Giro receivables, you can manage all your payments from Salesforce. And on top of that, we've added both Swish and Plus Giro with this release, which makes all the key payment ingredients for Sweden part of our FinDock solution. Now, the entire auto Giro lifecycle can be managed from Salesforce, from accepting payments online or offline, automatically processing payments and mandates, to extending and acting on auto Giro reports to reduce your failures. And that's all part of FinDock natively. There's no need to think about this part. We have a complete and automated sync with Bank Giro and their technical partner, which makes it very easy to use. And that's also one of the benefits of using auto Giro with FinDock. It's reduces your operational costs. It's increased transparency, because everything that's happening inside your Salesforce environment is data which you can track, you can follow up on if you want to, and see what's happening in the background. So you are in control of your payment collection. And it's also easy to extend because it's Salesforce data. So you can easily send up follow up with a confirmation email, or create a case if a payment has failed, which makes it very easy to use. And with this release, we're very excited to add a new part to managing auto Giro with FinDock, which is called FinDock e-mandates. Now, before I go into more detail on how that works with auto Giro, I would like to take a step back first and talk a bit about how direct debits work in general, because that's good context to know and understand before we dive into what that means for auto Giro. Now, direct debits, in a schematic overview, the debtor provides you an authorization to collect money, which then means that you can submit as a company, submit instructions to retrieve that money from the payer. Now, in most direct debit schemas, that legally still requires a written signature, which comes with all kinds of complicated paperwork. Now, in most schemas, on top of that, the banks historically have turned a blind eye and allowed checkboxes to be present. But if you look closely, you do want to know who is the payer, and also you want a method of digital consent where you know that the payer says who he is. And these alternatives have slowly become mainstream, where Nordic countries have led the way. That's the benefit of e-mandate with FinDock, where you instantly know who is signing, since customers don't have to provide a physical signature anymore. They can digitally sign through a method that's known to them. It also can increase your conversion because people sign in a way on their mobile phone or on their desktop where they know it's a trusted platform they sign with, because it's typically a government issued method of signing, and you don't have to worry about paperwork anymore. On top of all that, where you just track signatures real time in Salesforce, where you don't need anything of anything else, and you can act upon it and have your archive ready in the environment that all your CRM data lives in. What does that mean then for Autogiro? FinDock e-mandates is initially available in Sweden only with Autogiro, where you can sign easily with BankID, which is the leading signature method in Sweden and issued by the government and the banks, where you can prove your identity. And you, on top of that, automatically get a signed mandate PDF stored right into Salesforce that you then can keep as a reference to prove that you got the right authorization to collect, and also send to the customer as a confirmation of signature after the fact. To summarize how that looks in practice, you first have to configure your Autogiro target in Salesforce, where you set up your BankGiro number, fill in company details that are relevant for the signature process. Then the payer can start paying using Autogiro through our API, through giving pages, where they then sign with BankID. And then in the end, as I said before, you get a proof of the signature as a PDF attached to the mandate record in your Salesforce environment automatically. Now, I can talk about this forever, but it's better to show you that in action, which is what I'm going to do now. So here on the left-hand side of my screen, I have my giving page, and on the right-hand side of my screen, I have my phone, which I will be using to sign. And I'm going to set up a monthly donation to the Save the Rhino Fund, where I fill in my details, like you know from a giving page. And then I fill in my bank account details, which are test bank account details. And in Sweden, it's also required to fill in your personal number to identify who you are. And then I click donate. Now I'm taken to the BankID environment, where you're able to sign this authorization using BankID. So I scan the QR code. I can check the details I just filled in. So I see my clearing number and my bank account number. I also see the bank that belongs to, and I see the company information, and I can sign. And then it's confirmed. And on the left-hand side, after the processing is done, I'm taken back to the thank you page that the donation has been successful. Now, what does that look like in Salesforce? As you can see here, this is an inbound report that shows all the details I just created. So on the right-hand side, you see there's a recurring donation created for 900 Swedish krona with a payment profile and a mandate attached. And then when the signature is finalized, a second inbound report is received in your Salesforce environment that says the signature is completed. All the critical signature data is there as well, and then we automatically handle the mandate and create we generate a signed PDF that is attached to the mandate. As you can see here, I have a mandate. It's now ready to be registered with Bank Giro, and there is a PDF attached with all the details I just shared with you. So the bank details and the company details and a proof of signature of where that was signed, and a unique EDIT identifies the signature. This then can be sent to Bank Giro, and then you can start collecting against this mandate, and you don't have to worry anymore about a second software to sign these mandates, and you can keep this for reference if a payer disputes this, or even send it after the fact through an email to confirm their payment very easily, because it's all Salesforce data. FinDock e-mandates is a paid add-on, so if you're interested in joining the pilot or want to learn more, definitely reach out to me directly or through support@findock.com to learn more. And that concludes the demo of e-mandates. Now, that's not all of it for today. There's more to show. I previously already shared that we also introduced Swish in this release. Now, for people who are not familiar with Sweden, why Swish? Swish is a very popular payment method in Sweden, with 94% of Swedes use Swish at least once a month, either to transfer money to somebody else directly to pay for their lunch, or to donate or pay to a company on a one-time basis. It's easy. You use it on your mobile phone. It's a wallet similar to PayPal for people who don't know. And FinDock integrates with Swish directly, where we're a technical supplier of them and being vetted by them, where you can easily pay using the FinDock API with Swish, or a payer can just send money to your Swish number, and then we reconcile those payments right into Salesforce. Now, again, what's better than to just show you how that works in practice? And I want to show you one specific flow where it is just paying again through a giving page, and confirming that Swish payment in the Swish app. That's why on the right-hand side, you still see my screen. Now, in this case, I'm going to make a 700 krona donation to this charity with a one-time payment. I can fill in my details, and then I can choose between credit card and Swish here because I configured. But in this case, I want to donate with Swish. Now, if you were on a mobile device, we would automatically open the Swish app for you. But in this case, I'm on desktop, so I'm going to scan the QR code. I see again a confirmation of my payment with all the details, and then I pay, where I again have to sign that with Bank ID, funnily enough. And then the payment is completed. Now, again, how does that look like in Salesforce? Again, as always, you see a payment intent with an installment and an opportunity. And then the payment is completed. You get a second notification that says that the payment is succeeded, where the installment is set to collected. And you can follow up on that and track that in real time based on what's happening. Swish is only available as a one-time payment method, but it's very popular and it's critical for success in Sweden because it's the most used payment method there. And this concludes my Swish demo. So let me get back to the presentation. And hand it back to Lawrence for the final part of our webinar.
Thanks, Klaas. Personally, very excited to see all the features that we've built and how smooth all these donation and checkout flows are. We have a whole bunch of small wins in this release as well, next to all the large things. There's a lot of improvements that we did, smaller, maybe under the radar improvements. So I'd like to highlight a few of them. One is that we now support version 008 for CAMT53 and CAMT54 that many banks are currently rolling out. Some will already have rolled this out or will roll this out soon. But please know that you can configure this on your target if your bank starts sending you newer versions of your CAMT files. With all the updates we've done for non-profit cloud, we couldn't resist the temptation to also do small improvements to MPSP, one of which is that you can now put the gift aid declaration component directly on the recurring donation, since we also want to make it available on the gift commitment, which is the recurring object for non-profit cloud. There's many other improvements, but you can read all about those in our release notes. One thing I do want to highlight from the release notes is that we will be removing support for the API v1 and declare it end of life on the 1st of January 2025. All impacted customers and partners will have received an email in the last few weeks. So if you haven't, you're not impacted, at least we assume so, based on our data. But please know that if you're still one of the few customers on API v1, it's time to start thinking about the migration. If you have any questions, we have a whole bunch of resources on the documentation site, and of course, you can always reach out to us. So to end with that, our release notes can be found on our documentation website, and me and Klaas will stick around for your questions. If you have somewhere else to be, thank you for joining the webinar, and have a great weekend. See you next time.